Hi guys, and welcome to Holistic Life with Kristen. So today I'm going to be showing you how to make an easy paneer vegetable curry that is yogurt based. I just love Indian food, okay? I just love it. If I was someone else in a different lifetime, I was definitely an Indian. More specifically, probably a Punjabi Indian, okay? I just love Indian food, but the problem is that if you buy Indian food from a restaurant, it is so unhealthy. It's got too much salt. It's got too much fat in most cases. I mean, I have never seen a nutrition facts that is positive from an Indian restaurant. But the thing is that Indian food can be made so much healthier if you just make it at home. It is yogurt based with some pretty simple spices. It doesn't take long at all to put together. I actually found out about this recipe from a friend of mine who made this for me when I visited her. She's my friend is Indian, and so she cooked this for me. She's a vegetarian. When I visited her at her house, so I really liked it. It is so delicious, and it's pretty painless to make, but I had to make some adjustments to it. I ate it the way that she made it that day, but in order for me to incorporate this on a more regular basis in my own kitchen, I did do a couple of little tweaks, and I will walk you through those as we get into the recipe to make this a more Weight Watcher friendly recipe. So now I can enjoy this recipe just a bit more guilt-free. Okay guys, so it is just a little bit toasty in here and I am dressed just a bit warm. So I am going to go change into a lighter t-shirt and I will be right back to show you guys how to make this. So I'm going to start by preparing my vegetables, which is going to be a red onion and a green bell pepper. So I'm just peeling my onion and I'm going to small slice it, but the problem is I remembered it's probably wise for me to start with the green bell pepper because the goal of this is to get equal parts pepper and equal parts onion. So I only have one green bell pepper to my name, so I'm going to go ahead and cut that up first, and then I'm going to just slice it up, then slice it and add it to my bowl. And then I will slice up my onion because I want to have approximately the same amount of red onion as the green bell pepper. I've gone ahead and sped this video up so that you don't have to watch me sit here and slice this up in real time. So just done this for your convenience. There's my bell pepper. And then I'm going to start slicing my red onion thin. And then I'm just going to cut enough red onion to be approximately equal to the green bell peppers. I'm just going to give it a mix so I can see. I think I've still got a little bit more green bell pepper, so I'm just going to slice up just a little bit more, but I don't think I'm going to use this entire onion. There we go. I think that should look about half and half. Now I'm going to add my spices. I'm going to add first about 1 teaspoon of crushed red pepper to my veggies. And I'm going to mix this here in a minute. But I've got some pav bhaji masala, so I'm calling this basically, this is like garam masala. You can substitute it out if you don't have exactly this. You can either get a pav bhaji spice mix in another brand, or you can use like garam masala or any spice mix of your choice. And then I've got about a half teaspoon of turmeric. And then I'm going to use about 1 teaspoon of Kashmiri red chili. So I'm first going to add just a half teaspoon, and then I'm going to add the other half teaspoon. And next I'm just going to add in a little bit of olive oil, and then I am going to give this a mix. So I want to mix these veggies up to coat them in the olive oil and the spices. And then I'm just going to go ahead and set that aside so that I can move on. I need to get a couple of ingredients prepped so that when I start to cook, it will come together very easily. So the first thing I'm going to do is peel my garlic. You can use as much garlic as you want in this. I'm using about 4 good size pieces. This should, of course, be adjusted to your own taste preferences. I like a lot of garlic. In my opinion, there's no such thing as too much garlic. But if you don't like as much, you can just cut it back to, a couple, 2, 3 cloves or whatever it is. But I am going to be using about 4 cloves. Now I'm going to go ahead and turn my pan on to like a medium heat. And then I'm going to add about 1 teaspoon of whole cumin seeds to the oil once it's kind of starting to heat up. And you'll easily be able to tell when your oil is hot when you have these cumin seeds. As you can see there in the oil, they are popping. So you want to make sure you don't have your heat so high that it burns the cumin, just kind of a medium heat. And then we're going to go ahead and add our garlic. I'm just using a garlic press. If you don't have a garlic press, you're going to have to finely dice your garlic. But I do a lot of cooking, and a garlic press is very well worth the money. So I highly recommend, if you cook a lot, that it's really going to be worth your investment to go ahead and get one of these, because it's just going to save you so much time. I'm going to add my garlic into the oil, and I'm just going to cook it long enough to cook off that raw garlic smell that you will get once you add it. I just added about 2 tablespoons of besan or chickpea flour, and I'm also going to add a little bit of salt. If you noticed on the spices earlier, I didn't add any salt, so I'm going to add it here. And then you can adjust the oil because you want it to be this consistency. You don't want it to be as dry as it was after I added the besan. Next, I'm going to add in some yogurt. I think this is about 3/4 cup, but you can just kind of eyeball it and decide how much you want. Then I'm going to add those spicy veggies into the pan, and I'm going to mix it up real good. And we're just going to simmer it. We're going to have to add just a little bit of water as we cook this. We don't want it to be dry, and we also don't want it to be runny. So you're just going to kind of keep an eye on it and keep it at a nice curry-like consistency as you cook this, so that your final curry will be moist, but definitely not runny. And just so you know, the yogurt that I put into my recipe was fat-free, plain Greek yogurt, which is 0 Weight Watchers points. Traditionally, this would have been made with some whole fat dahi, or whole fat yogurt. And I'm trying to make this a little more Weight Watcher friendly. So I have used the plain fat-free Greek yogurt in my recipe because that is 0 Weight Watchers points. And there's one more adjustment to kind of the typical preparation method for this. And typically regular paneer is very high in fat and extremely high in Weight Watcher points. So I did find a low-fat version of the paneer, and it's just as good. Honestly, I don't think that you're giving anything up when you get that. And it's not free of points, but you can have a much larger serving for the same number of points, because for most of us, our points value just does not allow full fat paneer. If you eat full fat paneer, you're probably going to be like almost on like 0 Weight Watcher points or very, very limited Weight Watcher points for the rest of the day. So I have found that in order to stay on track with my Weight Watcher points, I do need to sub out the full fat paneer for the low fat paneer. And in my experience, I think it's just as tasty. So I don't mind doing that. As you can see here in the video, I have just kind of crumbled up my paneer, and I actually used a meat masher to do it just to save me some of the arm work. But you don't want to dice it up and or cube it up, and the reason is because you want all of those spices and the sauce to really stick to that paneer. So for that reason, I have just decided to crumble it into as tiny pieces as I can get it into. My Indian friend that I was visiting actually served this to me on toasted bread, like as a sandwich. I never thought of putting something like this on a sandwich, but it was absolutely delicious. The only change that I made from the way it was served to me at her house and the way I do it at my house is to do an open face sandwich. That way I can cut back some of the bread and you can get a little bit more of the curry. I just added a little bit more salt. I'm just basically doing a taste test and adjusting the salt as needed at the very end. But yeah, so I did find that it's better in terms of Weight Watcher points to do either one piece of toast or two pieces of toast as an open face sandwich. It's more filling and satisfying than using two pieces of bread with a thin layer of paneer, which really is less filling and higher in Weight Watcher points to have that much bread relative to the amount of paneer. So that is how I do it at home, depending on how hungry I am. And to be honest, one slice of bread toasted topped with some of this is plenty most of the time, unless I'm really hungry. This also goes really well with roti or naan, um, traditional Indian flatbreads, or it also goes well, with regular bread of any type of bread that you've got. You could eat this with, and also it goes well with rice. But I do like this a little bit better with bread. That's my personal opinion. But this is really good. It's so easy to make this. You're going to love it. Give it a try. Please be sure to subscribe if you'd like more of my videos, and be sure to drop me a comment letting me know what you'd like to see. Thanks so much for watching.